Now, as for kites, one of the most useful kites is the Delta kite. This is about an 11-foot wingspan Delta kite, stands about 6 foot high. Quite a simple kite, but one of the useful modifications that you can make to it is to put this string loop here through the spine of the kite. Use a darning needle and use some thin cord, because you can then use this to stack another kite above it should you so wish. It also helps to stop the backspar breaking as well. Now, the thing with the Delta kite is that the wing pieces do not go all the way up to the point of the kite. This bit is floppy, and you need to make sure that these spars are down as far as they'll go to the bottom. The little black piece at the bottom here is sort of a tail for stability. I'm just going to turn the kite round to have a look at it from the other side. Now, this is the underside of the kite, and this is the towing point that you can see here. You notice there's two towing points, a lower one and a higher one. The stronger the wind, the further down the keel that you go. Now, this keel is a double keel, so that it forms a little bit of a tube here, which makes this a very stable sort of Delta kite. It's quite a good kite to start with. It's quite a stable flying kite. Cost is something like 25 to 30 pounds, and it will lift the doublet that we've made quite successfully in winds from about 8 miles an hour up to about 15, maybe even as much as 20 miles an hour, but after that it would be starting to struggle a bit. The second kite is a sled kite, very useful kite. Comes in a bag like this. I'll just take it out and have a look at it. Now, here's the sled kite. The bag that you see on the floor has become a drogue chute which steadies the kite. You'll notice that there are 3 keels on it, 1, 2 and 1 this side here. 3 keels for stability, but the important thing about a sled kite is that it is a soft kite, unlike the Delta, which is a sparred kite. It's the spars which form the shape of the kite, but with the sled kite it's the wind which causes the kite to take shape. And the way it does it, it inflates these ram air tubes here. You can see there's 3 of them, 1 on each end and 1 in the middle. They're open at the bottom, and it causes a sort of a ramjet effect. There's the bottom of it, you see it's open, and it causes a sort of a ram air effect, and because they're angled in, because they are angled in a bit, it will cause the kite to open up and give some lift. I say this one is 6 by 4, 24 square feet. It's a very useful kite for winds from sort of 10 miles an hour up to about 25 miles an hour. So between the Delta kite and this sled kite, either of these two will happily lift that doublet. In fact, of course, if you've got winds at about 15 miles an hour, you could then use the Delta kite on the bottom and attach the sled kite to the top of the Delta on the loop that I showed you, and really get some pull on the sloping doublet. In fact, or you could use this one on one end and the Delta on the other to cause the doublet to be horizontal to the ground. Just got a picture of this sled kite flying, so as you can see the angled ram air tubes, wider at the front, narrow at the back, and the drogue chute behind it. That gives you a much better idea what the kite looks like. Right, so let's just recap on the 2 basic kites. The Delta kite on the left, it actually does break down to about half that size. The spars have got joiners in, but I just carry it around like that because it's more convenient. And of course the sled kite, which is back in its bag. Just repeat the approximate costs. The Delta's about 25, the sled kite's about 35 to 40. Of the two, the sled kite's probably the most useful of the 2 kites.